Hello YouTube, D-Decken here, and as you can see on my screen, I have finally made it to Duel level max. It took me since the start of the KC Cup to almost 3 hours from now, 3 hours earlier from the time I'm recording this, to get to this point, and to be honest, I'm still a little surprised actually. Like, normally I play a bit more casually, I don't actually care about the KC Cup, but this time around I kind of want to see about how far I can go, plus I wanted some of the gems, and to my surprise, I made it all the way to max. Which I guess there's some sort of lesson there about don't give up until you try. Uh, some sort of motivational lesson, I guess. Any case, so the point of this video is basically me talking about the deck I used, some of the decks I faced against, some problems I faced against, and I guess overall my experience versus what is your experience so far with the KC Cup. Are you currently stuck at a certain level, or have you already maxed out? Have you seen some fun decks, or are you using one yourself? Like I said, just let me know in the comments below, and I guess I should probably start by saying that I originally wasn't planning to get to max at this point. Like, when I started winning some games at the start, I wanted to go at like 2 levels every day. But against over time, I guess I kept winning, so I kept pushing and pushing, and then I eventually got to this point. So the deck I used was kind of a crappy Ancient Gear deck. Like, it's definitely not an optimal deck, and I haven't thrown any money in the game, so I don't have extra copies of Sergeant Electro and Super Rush, or I should probably actually just show the deck. Like, this video isn't meant to be a deck profile, this video is just meant to be me talking about the event, but I guess I can't... I guess I have to actually show it in order to start talking about it, because I was using some random text that I don't think most people didn't really expect, which, because Ancient Gear's skill got nerfed, you can't really play as offensively anymore. You have to actually play a bit more defensively, which is kind of where some of these techs come in handy. I think, again, the one Sergeant Electro, just because it's as a tech. I think Man-Eater Bug is very straightforward, but I'm also using Yomi Ship and Taco Crusader. Yomi Ship, for anyone who maybe familiar with this card, is sort of an old fun favorite in Duel Links around the early stages, because just how disruptive it was. And again, I didn't actually see any Yomi ships. I saw some 4-star Ladybugs of Doom, which I was running in this deck at the start of the event, along with Cyber Gymnast, which, again, no one expects Cyber Gymnast, but Cyber Gymnast is such a funny card because it lets you pop an attack position monster your opponent controls. But again, I was having some problems with it because I started switching a lot of things to defense mode and I couldn't get over some things, so I traded out the 4-star Ladybug of Doom for the Yomi ship, and I traded out the Cyber Gymnast for Taco Crusader. And I'll be honest, I threw Taco Crusader in here as a joke, but there are many situations where I started just swinging with Taco Cruiser, or I actually was able to use Taco Cruiser effectively. For those who don't know, Taco Cruiser has 2 effects. Whenever it sends to the graveyard, it activates one of those 2 effects. Its first effect is pretty much Book of Moon, which it lets you take opponent's monster and just turn it face down. And its second effect is you target a face-up spell trap card and you just return it back to the hand. But primarily its first effect of just Book of Moon was very effective in many situations where if I was playing this against a Gladiator base, I immediately got to set their monster so they wouldn't tag out. And if I was going against Cyber Angels, I got to set their monster, which reset the any Edeton boost they got. So yeah, there was just a lot of just fun interactions. Not to mention, I didn't have to get this card off whenever I destroyed it. I actually could tribute this for either Beast or Golem. So like I said, there was a lot of fun interaction with Tackle Cruiser. But like I said, this deck is not a good deck. There's a lot more optimal decks out there. This is just the one I was able to use. I was also using Ancient Gear Tank as well. I really love Ancient Gear Tank. I love how it's basically a Black Pendant, but slightly better, and just with 600 inflict damage, but I traded it out for Wall of Disruption, and I have to admit there have been many games where I was actually able to win because of Wall of Disruption, so I guess overall I'm very happy with some of the changes I made, and I don't know, I like this deck. Ancient Gear is a very straightforward deck. You know its plays, your opponent knows its plays. At that point, you're just playing around, you're just going back and forth, seeing who can out who. If their back row is able to stop you from what you're doing, if you're able to stop them from what they're doing. Like I said, it's a very straightforward deck. There were games, though, where I did just straight up lose, just because I either drew too many monsters or I wasn't able to draw a monster in time. And there were some games where I summoned a monster and then my opponent just econ took and I didn't have the correct response to it. So, like I said, it has its own problems and it's not really meant to be a great deck, but I guess I should probably start with I guess I should probably continue over into like what decks I actually saw. For the most part, I saw Burn and or Temple of the Mind's Eye deck. I saw Rex Dinos and I saw Gladiator Beast as the three most popular decks that I faced against. I did see some Cyber Angels. Cyber Angels would definitely be number 4. And I did have some general problems with Cyber Angels in most matchups, but there were some matchups where I got lucky and I was able to get the right cards to counter them. And then, of course, there were some matchups where I couldn't. But starting off with the 3 big ones, Burn. Burn is very annoying, especially when you know they have 2 Lava Golems. But at the same time, for this deck, the best counter to Lava Golem is to just expect Lava Golem. Like, if you have out ready for Lava Golem, then you summon 2 monsters, you let your opponent do whatever you need to it, and then your opponent's going to drop Lava Golem. You know it's going to happen whenever you have 2 monsters. So, usually I either floodgate it, or I would have a beast ready to tribute for Lava Golem as a general out to that. And then I keep my board to 1 monster until a point where I was able to counter that second Lava Golem. I did face Golden Ladybug tilt decks, and I did face Ojama Go, which is an Ojama Go Chaz burn deck, which summons a monster and you can't summons a Ojama token, you can't tribute it. So that came a little bit annoying. And yeah, I really wish they would do something about burn decks, but I don't exactly know what they would do. Like, there's just so much support for burn that I don't know how they would counter that. Like, should they limit Temple, or should they limit Massive Morph? Massive Morph is an annoying card, but I don't know. I don't know how to even handle that. It's very roguish. Like I said, I did face a lot of Rex decks, Rex Raptor using dinosaurs, which makes sense because the deck has a lot of high attack point monsters. But I didn't really find the matchup too difficult. I think I lost like 1 or 2 times, and again, it has to do with econ take. But a lot of the time, I mostly focused on keeping my my skill castle in the field to keep my knight at 21. And at that point, I kind of just played around with whatever they're doing, and I was able to run over them. Like, I didn't really have that much problem against dinosaurs, in other words. But Gladiator Beast, on the other hand, I think I only won 1 time against him. And other than that, I completely lost every time. Like, I know the general idea is to stop them from playing, but you can't really stop them from playing when they're using 1 card to stop 2 cards you're doing, and it's a very advantageous deck, in other words. So, like I said, I guess those were the 3 or 4 big decks I saw. I did see some other decks, like, I saw a Relinquish deck twice. Like, both times, I laughed when I saw that. The first time, the guy actually had interdimensional matter transporter ready for when I tried to destroy Relinquish, and it's like, well, crap, he brings it back, he steals an monster, and I lose. The second time was actually a bit more recently in the higher tiers, and that guy played a little bit more slow, but I was able to floodgate the Relinquish right on the summon, and then just Golem 3k him. So there was that. I did see some Aroma here and there. But the problem is, I never saw Aroma. I saw Aroma a couple times, but I didn't see Aroma actually be able to set up well. Which is funny, because before making this video, I watched Phoenix Flare X recent video talking about Aroma and Duel Links. So, yeah, I mean, I saw them using, like, Golden Ladybug, and I saw them Goblin Thief in one duel. Like, they didn't set up well. I saw some generic character decks, like Yugimoto using Taizabine with a random deck. I saw Kaiba and Blue Eyes White Dragon. Just some generic things. One of the cool decks I saw in the later duels was a Bastion Earth Psychic deck. And yes, that sounds so crazy, but it was funny. Like, he had Power Injector, Destructitron. He used Destructitron to pop a set card. Because he dropped the 3k, he popped the field spell for Forest, which, again, doesn't work against Ancient Gear because they're Earth too, but It was so funny to see that. It was so awesome because he got his monsters up to like 26 and 23 right there, and like I said, it was a very cool thing to see actually. There were some games I saw Amazon Sage. Like I never actually, every time I saw Amazon Sage, I never saw what deck they were playing. I saw Amazon Sage and I was able to deal with it right away, and then I just kind of beat them. Like like literally my level up game was Amazon Sage, Sergeant Electro, Divine Wrath. That's it. I don't know what deck it was. It was just some sort of hate deck as my final game, which was funny, I guess. In the early games, I saw some 6-Sam, which I think I mentioned that I used a 4-star Ladybug of Doom. But I did see one in the late game, and I opened up a Yomi Ship and Maneater Bug, which, again, one of the problems I had with this deck was like sometimes I opened up too many monsters, no back row. But so I did lose that one. Red Eye Slash Dragon did come up a couple times, but in every case but one game early on, I was able to beat it, just because if you switch it to defense mode, or if you're able to prevent it from attacking, in other words, they don't equip a card, and if they don't equip a card, you can target it. So that's something fun to think about. There was one Red Eye Zombie deck I played recently that had Regeneration Mummy. As weird as that is, and didn't get Red Eye Zombie out. I played Ninja, Ninja Beatdown, I should probably correct myself with saying. Which basically, they summoned the fire one that brings it up to level 5, and then just beat down to give it an extra 300. And then Power Rebirth to bring it back. There was one player using a 3-star demotion to bring out Sengen, or Sangun. The level 7 Gate Guardian monster. Can't talk. And again, in the last one, I also saw a Mako deck use Digalus, like Super Mega Digalus, not just Digalus, which was really cool because he summoned the Digalus, and I completely forgot about the Super Mega Digalus, so I floodgated the Digalus, and then he just tripped it for the Mega Digalus. Like, oh no! Which, again, that's actually the game I played. I traded out a 4-star Ladybug of Doom and Cyber Gymnast because at that point he got rid of every card in my hand on my field, so I was trying to draw to play out, which, having the deck I currently played now, I would eventually draw it into Yomi Ship, and I would have drawn into Maneater Bug at the time, but like I said, that was a very fun interaction. That was a very fun game, actually. I've got to there are some games I played that I have to give my opponent props because they were playing a very awesome deck, which is, I guess, kind of why I wanted to, I kind of made a comment saying that if you saw any decks or you're playing any interesting decks, to let me know. And overall, like I said, sometimes I drew too many. Like, when I needed a beast, I wasn't able to draw beast, and there were times when I opened beast and I couldn't summon it. And there was also times when I needed to top deck a card, and I top deck beast, and I couldn't play it. But other than that, this is, again, I had fun, and I don't think I'll go into high tiers when it comes to Stage 2. When it comes to Stage 2, that's kind of where I started to expect more Cyber Angel, more Gladiator Beast. But, like I said, how has KCC been for you so far? Have you had some fun? Have you played some fun decks? Again, let me know in the comments below, and I guess just have a good day.